everyone. Today I will be discussing Module 6, Differentiating for All Students. So today we'll be talking about UDL, the Universal Design for Learning, as I analyze two resources that I currently use with my students, and that will be using engagement, representation, action, and expression. Before I jump into the resources that I use with my students, this quote in Chapter 8 really stuck out to me, and I wanted to highlight that first. And essentially you can read the quote right now, but it just discusses that you don't have control over your development of the curriculum you're using, and sometimes as teachers we're forced to use certain programs, use a certain curriculum, but there are going to be times where we're going to supplement materials and provide resources to our students just as we would in our physical classrooms, so it's important to make sure those are accessible as well. And that really ties into the programs that my students are currently using, and that's what I want to walk you through and analyze today. So the first one is Odysseyware. This is a program that I've mentioned that my students have to use. My district has mandated that during distance learning, but I get so many messages from parents saying they don't understand how to use the program. They have questions. I get questions from students, and I really wanted to analyze the accessibility of the program because a lot of those comments come from my students with special needs and a lot of my ESOL students. So I'm going to show you the program. I'm currently logged in under a student view, and so when students first log in, they get this video. This will just kind of show them how to find different resources in the program and how to operate it. There's also a resource button that there's accessibility information, so students can click and find an accessibility statement. It will show them different services if they are students with special needs, and there's accommodation. So if you scroll down to that, it gives you a list of the accessibility tools in the learning management system that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to go under the Learn tab, and this shows me where all of the students' lessons that they're working on. So the student right now is enrolled in 4 courses: ELA, social studies, math, and science. And so when they come into work, it just shows them the next thing and they click assigned. But I am currently going to go under some of the completed assignments that this student has already done. So I'm just going to click on this is the first reading lesson in the program, and this is what the students will see when they are working on assignments. So it'll have a quick description, the objectives. Sometimes there's a visual or a video that the students can play. And this is just kind of posing some questions about the story that the students should be reading. So after the students read this short story, they would go up here to answer questions, and there's matching questions, there's multiple choice questions, and some of the lessons also have short answer questions. This isn't one of them, this is just a drop-down bar. But if I go back, okay, so now that I'm back on the slide with the story, I want to show you some of the resources and accommodations that are in Odysseyware. So one of the first ones here is there's a print feature. The students can print out, if they have access to a printer, the reading. There's also a reference. Students can highlight text and look up some words. There is a translate feature. So if I were to highlight a paragraph, go to translate, it will list a bunch of languages, and I can translate it here where it will put the highlighted text into whatever language, and if I click on this, it will read it aloud for me. That's really great because a lot of my students are Spanish speaking, and when it is reading to you, there are some different names, male and female, that the students can choose to have read to them. So that's as far as some of the accommodations. Also over here, there are these boxes that students can add notes, and they'll be saved. So if they highlight something and add a note, or they can just type in a note. Teachers can also go in and do the same thing on their side in student lessons to take notes for them as well. If students are in their working and they have questions, they can go down to this Ask for Help feature, click on it, and they can type a message to the teacher. Unfortunately, this is the only communication option, is messaging the teacher via the Ask for Help, or they can go to the message at the top and they can compose a message and send it to their teacher. See, I am the only person selected that the students can message. So that's a basic rundown of how the lessons all look. So looking into the UDL components, the first one being engagement. As far as access and interest, choice is a huge component of that. And unfortunately in OdysseyWare, there is very little choice in the program. And there's also very little communication. Students can only message the facilitator of their classes to ask them questions or ask them for help. And all students follow the same path of lessons through the course. So when I showed you how the lessons popped up on the main screen, those lessons come up in the same order for every student as they work through the program. Also, students, they need a 65%. That's what my district has determined as the passing threshold for students to pass a lesson. If they fail that lesson twice, students will just continue working through the program, even though they have not demonstrated mastery. So they don't get any feedback, any more resources to help them. They just keep getting pushed through. And I can go in and provide them support, but some of my students get on very late at night when I'm sleeping, and I will log in the morning and see that they push through a whole bunch of math lessons, they don't have support, and now I have to go back and try to reteach 6 lessons because there's nothing stopping them in the program as far as like self-assessment, reflection, anything like that. And they have very limited investment and goals in the program. I've noticed my students get very frustrated, and I will talk about that in a bit, with the program, and it's really they just want to get it done, is my senses after I've had conversations with them. As far as multiple means of representation, there are some of the accommodations that I showed you and were listed in the accessibility handbook. So the first one, there are supports for defining words. Students can highlight the word. It will give them a definition. Students can also have the text be translated and read aloud in various different languages, and they can pick the voice that someone reads it to them in. But the text needs to be highlighted, and unless their student already has controls set up on their computer, it can be difficult for someone with a mobility issue to be highlighting all of that text, because even when I go through to do it sometimes, I have a lot of challenges getting things to stay highlighted while I click all the buttons. It can be a little bit challenging. Students can also make notes for themselves, and teachers can provide them notes, and they are notified when the teacher does this on the side of the lesson. And students have a list of all their assignments on their dashboard. So it is easy for them to go through and have the information processed and clearly understood for their expectations. And also for the math notation, the students are never typing anything math related. There is only the equations that are already in the program. Students are just doing a lot of multiple choice or matching with the math components. And as far as action and expression, the students are answering multiple choice questions, fill in the blank, short answer, and they do not have a choice for what types of questions they get. So they only have one way to answer questions, and even in the short answer, they're very limited for how they express themselves to just text. There's no voice to text or translation feature. It's one way when they're giving their answers. And the only communication feature in the program is commenting questions to the teacher. And I can provide feedback to them through messaging them or giving them help in the chat box, but it's not very easy to provide feedback to students on OdysseyWare as well. And there are no checkpoints and planning where students need to stop and think throughout the lesson. As I mentioned, they just kind of push through. So as far as what I supplement my students with, I use Google Docs and Google Slides. So my students have lessons that they have to do on OdysseyWare, but I provide them enrichment, or a lot of them it's extra supports and remedial opportunities on my Google Classroom. So I'm going to pull that up. So here's my Google Classroom. Under my classwork tab, it's changed a little bit as distance learning has gone through, but currently my students are going under these digital learning tabs. Now, I currently have a bunch of resources listed under my Google Classroom because Odysseyware doesn't give them a timeline that they have to stick to. There are just suggested due dates. So all of my students are at different places in every single subject. So it's really hard for me to go through and provide supports for them for right where they are. So I have just uploaded a bunch of supports that go through from the first skills they do in Odysseyware. So the first thing in math they do is area and perimeter. They do shapes, multiplication, telling time, place value, money, and there are some measurement. So I provide them resources for these, and I've done the same thing for ELA, science, and social studies. So they are activities, there's posters, videos, all linked for students to supplement their learning on Odysseyware with. So I will just pull up a lot of these are Google Docs or Google Slides. So I'll just go under a Google Doc. Now this is one that I quickly typed for my students because I was getting so many questions from parents about what's a main idea, what is a prediction. So I typed up a chart for them that has a main idea, the vocab word, and the definition. And on here, some of the accessibility features. There is a tab for accessibility, and it gives students speaking options, options for commenting, where to find headings, graphics, and it will link and take them through. There is also a tools setting where they can do voice to type. There is an activity dashboard. There's accessibility settings where students can link their assistive technology. And one of my favorites for my students is the translate document. So I can choose a language, and like I mentioned earlier, a lot of my students are Spanish speakers. So if I can find Spanish, I can translate it, and it will translate the entire document to Spanish, which is fantastic because a lot of my students and even more of their parents only speak Spanish. So this is breaking down that communication barrier with them. Also, under here, there is keyboard shortcuts where students have mobility issues or using the mouse is difficult for them. They can use a bunch of these control and shift options, and it breaks it down into categories for how they can find those as well. And I also have a lot of editable documents on Google Slides. So these are typically handouts that students would get in class that go with a reading program, but my team teachers and I have worked to put a lot of them into editable documents. So this one just gives directions for reading. And I will go over then the UDL components of that. So as far as engagement, students can collaborate in Google Docs and Google Slides in real-time editing and work with other students. That goes for instructors as well. And there is a commenting and chat feature for students to ask questions and provide feedback on specific components of the assignment. So if I go under on here, I can share with other people. There's comment features, so I can provide comments specifically throughout the text. And the teacher can record directions using that voice feature, which is something that I currently don't do, but especially for students who have difficulty reading in English, that would be a really great resource for them, or students with a visual disability. As far as representation, Google offers students various resources as far as visuals, videos, text, drawings that teachers can incorporate or they can incorporate into their work. So there is an option to accommodate language in here, like I've mentioned, and there are, no, I can't find it. There we go, drawing features where kids can draw and then save and close, and it inserts it right into the document, which is really cool. The accessibility tab gives easy access to features in the document and will help students work through and find information that they need. Google is also really great about being compatible with other technologies like screen readers and screen magnifying glasses. I know one of my friends in college, she has a disability and uses a lot of assistive technology to voice the text and to read text to her, and she's always been able to have that be very compatible with Google Sites. And students have access to keyboard shortcuts, like I mentioned, will help with mobility needs, and there is an alt text feature for reading and